Hi guys, it's Pamela Naturals and I am back with another video. Now this is the long awaited how to grow long, healthy, natural hair. There's a lot of talk about how to grow natural hair these days, and sometimes it can get a bit confusing. What should I do? What's the really important stuff that I should be doing for myself and for my hair in order to grow it to its maximum length or to its maximum potential, and to allow it to be healthy? Before I go ahead with the things that I've done to be able to grow my hair, and I know they'll be helpful to you as well, there's a few things I'd like to talk about. I get this question a lot. What do you put in your hair? And every time I get that question, I ask myself, do people really still think there is a particular product that you can put in your hair that's going to make your hair grow? Well, unfortunately not. There is no magic product when it comes to growing your natural hair. Your hair techniques and habits will always trump products. The way you handle your hair, the way you go to sleep with your hair, the way you wash your hair, the way you manipulate your hair comes way above what products you use. You need to get into a habit of manually caring for your hair rather than, concentrating on what products you're putting in your hair. The main reason that black women do not grow their hair to healthy, long lengths is because of breakage. Breakage! Our hair does not have a cuticle at the ends. It gets drier and more vulnerable towards the ends of the hair. And if you don't know what a cuticle is, the cuticle is just the topmost layer of hair, and that layer is responsible for protecting your hair against the elements. So heat, the cold, wind, whatever you can think of, products or chemicals, the cuticle protects the hair. And because as black women, we don't really have the cuticle at the ends of the hair, it's very difficult to keep your ends because they're very vulnerable. They don't have protection, so they break off quite easily, which is a problem. I hope this sets the pace a little bit for you, because everything I'll be talking about, not everything, but most of it will be surrounding the fact that we need to keep moisture in our hair. We need to be gentle, especially with the ends of our hair, if we want to retain length and if we want to see healthy hair. So as you would imagine, your diet is very important when it comes to hair. You want your hair to be healthy from the roots all the way up to the ends. So if you're eating bad food, not drinking enough water, not hydrating from the inside out, please don't expect your hair to be healthy, because you're not healthy from the inside all the way out. Pretty simple. The next thing is scalp care. So your scalp is where your hair originates. You want your scalp to be clean. You want your scalp to be loose and free of, tightness. Don't punish your scalp by pulling your hair too hard or by applying heavy products that block the follicles on your scalp. Let it be free and able to just, be itself and allow your hair to grow out of the follicles without trouble. You've probably heard this before. Moisture! Moisture, moisture, moisture! Our hair is naturally dry. It is prone to dryness, like I just explained, because the oils don't get to the ends of the hair most of the time. Sometimes they do, but sometimes not. So we need to manually add moisture and get into the habit of sealing that moisture in so that our hair is moisturized for a longer period. Moisture is very important because it keeps the hair supple and it allows it to be elastic, because when it's elastic, it's more difficult to snap or to break. I hope you get the illustration. If your hair is dry, it's easy for you to snap it when you manual handle it or style your hair. So you want moisture in your hair in order to be able to keep your ends, in order to be able to see length retention. Protective styling or low manipulation styles. Protective styling is just when you style your hair in such a way that your ends are protected from the elements. What this does is that it allows your hair to thrive, to just be. Natural hair is not very happy when you manual handle it too often. It breaks off, it becomes weaker, it becomes drier. So when you get into the habit of doing more protective styles, you will see that your hair will start to thrive because it's protected from the elements. And low manipulation styles, especially with children, it's quite easy to set their hair in a certain style and just leave it for the rest of the week. All you need to do is moisturize, seal, moisturize, and seal, and that's it. Pretty simple. Next thing is heat. I'm not saying don't use heat. You can use heat if you use it properly, but the problem with heat is that it strips the hair of moisture, and as we already know, our hair lacks moisture already. So a hair that lacks moisture, you bring a hot comb or a curling tone or something to strip the moisture even more. Obviously that's not going to be good for your hair. It will dry even more and be even more prone to breakage, of which that will result in you not seeing your length retention. So avoid heat if you can. If you are going to use heat, use a protectant and don't do it too often. Plan your heat sessions, your heating sessions or curling sessions, so that you know exactly what you're going to do to prevent the damage and the breakage that can come with styling your hair with heat. Being gentle. I can't stress this enough. Like, we have to be really gentle when dealing with our hair. I know it looks like it's a rough kind of hair. When people see your fro, they're like, oh, look at that, it's so rough and strong. It's not. It's deceiving us, because the thing is that the individual strands are very, very thin and delicate. What the illusion is that the scalp has got so many follicles tightly together, next to each other, and that kind of gives us a look of dense, tough hair. This is a misconception, because our hair is not tough. It looks tough, but it's not tough. So being gentle with our very delicate hair is very important to prevent breakage. When you manipulate your hair, use a wide tooth comb or even just your fingers. Just your fingers, and just run through your hair and take the knots out, and that's it. And you will see that your hair will begin to retain length. Satin scarf. A lot of people don't take this seriously. But when you wear a satin scarf to bed, or when you are, say for instance, going to be rubbing against something, it really protects your hair from the roughness that cotton can bring, chairs and, all the things that we expose ourselves to. A satin scarf is really slippery, and the hair likes that because it just slides against the material, as opposed to a cotton, which is very rough and it really sucks moisture out of your hair, which promotes dryness and breakage, and we don't want that. Also, when you wear a satin scarf to bed, tangles are reduced by far. Your hair stays in one place, the moisture is kept in, and tangles are minimized. Now, your ends. The ends of your hair are very delicate, like I said before. So what you do is that you have to get into the habit of adding moisture regularly and sealing that moisture in. So water, just add some water and an oil, period. Very simple techniques. But the thing is that you have to be consistent and frequent in order to see the results. Okay, don't put moisture today and next time you put moistures at the end of the week. I mean, it's not going to be effective for you. So get more consistent with your moisturization and sealing regimen so that you can be able to keep healthy ends and then retain length and prevent breakage. You're gonna hear this the entire video, because breakage is the main thing we want to prevent. Now, co-washing. I talked about this in another video. Co-washing is just cleansing your hair with a conditioner rather than a shampoo. And what this does is that it does not strip your hair of its natural moisture or its natural oils. And we want this because our hair is naturally dry. So if we use, for instance, a sulfate shampoo, that shampoo is going to strip even the little moisture that our hair is able to retain from the scalp. And that's not good for our hair, because it will dry, it will be chronically dry if we do it too often. And you won't see your length because your ends will be breaking. So co-wash your hair more often than you do shampoo. Maybe shampoo, once a month, once every 6 weeks, depending on your hair type, what you put in your hair and just how your hair feels. Get into the habit of actually touching your hair and, assessing what it feels like and what it needs. Now, in my view, these are the main things that you need to do in order to see length retention with your natural hair. There's a vast, number of things that you can do in order to see length retention with your hair. And you can go into things like, massaging your scalp, oil rinsing, pre-pooling your hair. That's an important one. You pre-pool, so you just add an oil straight before you wash your hair. But the main thing that you should get from all the videos that you watch or all the information that you see on YouTube or whatever platform you are on, even this video, is that the main thing we want to prevent is breakage. Whatever you do, let it be focused on preventing breakage at the ends of your hair, because that is the main reason that we do not see length retention. Now, there's special circumstances, you know, people have got scalp conditions, or people have got hormonal issues where their hair is shedding and they're not able to see length. Now, that's a different case. I'm just speaking in general. In general, people, or rather black women, we don't see length because our hair breaks at the ends. I hope this helps you create a regimen that really discourages breakage. Be sure to add or, you know, contribute and let me know if there's other things that you've done in your regimen that are important or that you have seen, you know, to be effective when it comes to retaining length and having, you know, healthy hair, healthy, long, black hair. You know the drill. That's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you can put some of these things into practice for your regimen. Until next time, it's Pamela Naturals.